Welcome to my channel. I'm Frankie and this is Let's Get Real, where today I'm reviewing the latest MCU movie, Black Widow. And heads up, while this video will not contain spoilers for the movie, it will contain spoilers for Captain America Civil War and Avengers Endgame. Movies you definitely should have seen at this point in order to understand the events in this one. So shortly after Civil War, Natasha Romanoff finds herself on the run, forcing her to deal with her history as a spy and the broken relationships which seem between her family in order to bring down the ones responsible for her dark past. Now, personally, this has been one of my most anticipated films of the year, mostly due to how I'm a huge follower of the MCU, and I've always been interested in the character Black Widow and her dark history, and the trailers made it seem like this is what the movie would be diving into, while also acting as a send-off for the character. When it comes to my thoughts on this film, I thought this movie was great. I loved the tone this movie was going for. It felt like a darker, hand-to-hand combat spy movie, rather than an average superhero movie, giving it its own feel, separate from other movies of its kind. And thanks to exploring Natasha's dark past, this becomes one of, if not the deepest Marvel movie yet. It's a lot more serious than you would expect, and there's not as much humor as you would think there would be. The action scenes are extremely well choreographed. As mentioned, there is a lot of hand-to-hand combat, which leads to some really entertaining action sequences, most of which looked beautiful on the big screen. I'm so happy Kevin Feige fought so hard to keep this from skipping theaters and becoming exclusive to Disney+, even if that still sort of happened in the end. Although I did feel like the visuals were a mixed bag, with some scenes looking gorgeous and others that looked pretty mediocre. When it comes to the acting, just like any Marvel movie, the actors went above and beyond with bringing life to these characters. Scarlett Johansson as Natasha is astounding as always, considering this might be her last Marvel movie for obvious reasons. And I thought she helped this character go out with a bang, performance-wise and character-wise. And Florence Pugh surprised me, as her character as well as her performance turned out to be one of the biggest standouts of the movie for me. Based on what the movie was setting up, I cannot wait to see her in more upcoming projects. And David Harbour was easily one of the scene stealers in this film. He brought a more comedic take to the role of Red Guardian and carried most of the humor of the film, which was pretty good, and the acting overall was extremely well done. Marvel always seems to know what they are doing when it comes to casting, for the most part. When it comes to my flaws in this film, I think my biggest issue with this film, similar to the Aquaman movie, this film contains a lot of explosive, action-related interruptions during nearly every scene that could be seen as deep, slow, or emotional, creating extreme mood whiplash for the viewer. And this also causes some of the deeper themes to be overshadowed by all of the action. And since this movie takes place way after we've gotten to know the character, and before her death, the movie itself might feel like filler for some people, even if the film tries its best to go as in-depth into the character as possible. Overall, will I call it the best MCU movie? No. Is it better than Captain Marvel? Definitely! I personally thought this was a great way to send off Natasha, not counting Avengers Endgame, and a fun way to kick off Phase 4. Of course, if you're a huge Marvel follower or love the character Black Widow, you're going to enjoy this film. And don't even think of renting this on Disney+. As previously mentioned, this needs to be seen on the big screen. I saw this in IMAX, and I could not have wished for a better experience. Overall, I'm giving Black Widow an 8 out of 10. Thanks for visiting my channel. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more reviews.